Gaslighting is a form of psychological manipulation that makes you question your perception of events. It happens when someone consistently denies your experiences, even when the evidence supports you. Common examples include phrases like, "You're too sensitive," or "That never happened." These aren't simple disagreements. They are deliberate efforts to confuse and destabilize your sense of self. Over time, gaslighting causes you to distrust your emotions and memories. You may begin to rely on the gaslighter to explain reality back to you, even when their explanations make no logical sense. This pattern doesn't just affect one situation. It changes how your brain assesses safety and danger. Gaslighting is especially damaging when it comes from someone close, like a parent, partner, or boss. You may start to feel isolated, even when you are surrounded by people. You may withdraw from sharing feelings because you fear being invalidated again. The goal of gaslighting is not to argue facts. It is to gain control by disrupting your ability to trust yourself. If you feel confused around someone more often than not, that's not a coincidence. That's a symptom. And recognizing it is the first sign that you are beginning to heal. Healing begins when you start to believe your own eyes, ears, and gut again. Learning to recognize gaslighting means learning to trust what you see and hear. One sign is that your reality keeps getting contradicted without evidence. You may recall a clear event, but the other person insists it happened differently, or not at all. Another red flag is the reversal of blame. Even when the gaslighter is clearly at fault, they somehow make it your responsibility. This tactic is confusing and emotionally exhausting, and it makes you question your memory. Gaslighters often isolate their targets by attacking their closest relationships. They may say things like, "Your friends are a bad influence," or "No one else understands you like I do." This isolates you from outside validation, making you easier to control. They might also use sarcasm or passive aggression, only to accuse you of being humorless or irrational if you react. Over time, these tactics cause a person to suppress their emotions to avoid conflict. You may find yourself apologizing constantly, even for things you didn't do. You might feel a sense of dread before conversations because you're afraid you'll somehow be wrong again. If this sounds familiar, it's not because you're broken, it's because you're being manipulated. The moment you notice the pattern is the moment you begin stepping out of it. Pay attention to how you feel after interactions with someone. If you consistently feel diminished, anxious, or unsure, those are not random feelings. They are signals. The first step in combating gaslighting is building your internal validation system. This means developing the habit of saying, "What I experienced is real, even if someone else disagrees." Start by keeping a journal of significant conversations and events. When you write things down right after they happen, you're preserving your version of reality. This is not about proving someone wrong. It's about protecting your mental clarity. Second, begin setting clear boundaries around how you will be spoken to. For example, you might say, I won't continue this conversation if my experience is dismissed. Boundaries do not require agreement. They only require consistency. Gaslighters rely on emotional access. Removing that access disrupts their influence. Next, seek external validation from people who have proven trustworthy. This could be a friend, therapist, or support group that respects your feelings and memories. You're not seeking approval, you're seeking reflection. Healthy relationships reflect reality back to you, not confusion. In addition, practice speaking your truth in low-risk environments to build confidence. Say what you mean clearly and calmly. Don't justify, over-explain, or apologize unless it's necessary. You are allowed to describe what happened to you without permission from anyone else. The more you do this, the more natural it becomes to stand in your truth. Authenticity means living in alignment with what you know to be true. After being gaslit, it can feel dangerous to show up as your full self. You may have learned that expressing emotion led to dismissal or ridicule. But healing requires you to unlearn that suppression and begin expressing your actual needs. A useful practice is identifying how your body reacts when something feels off. Often, your stomach, chest, or jaw will signal stress before your mind registers it. Tuning into these physical cues is part of developing emotional self-awareness. Next, begin honoring your reactions without judging them. If something upsets you, allow yourself to name that upset. If something excites you, allow yourself to follow that thread. This is how you relearn self-trust. Authenticity also means allowing contradiction within yourself. You can love someone and also feel hurt by them. You can respect someone and still walk away if they disrespect your truth. You are not obligated to shrink or perform to stay connected. True connection honors who you really are, not who others want you to be. Practicing authenticity will feel awkward at first, especially if you've lived in reaction to someone else's moods. But with practice, your confidence will grow and your voice will strengthen. Your nervous system will begin to recognize that safety is not found in hiding. It is found in self-expression. Healing from gaslighting means committing to your truth, even when it's hard. You will need to unlearn habits of self-doubt and replace them with rituals of self-reflection. A regular check-in with your body and emotions helps you stay centered. Ask yourself daily, what do I feel? What do I need? What do I know? This simple practice anchors you to your inner compass. Support from others is also crucial. Find people who encourage clarity, not confusion. This could be a therapist, a support group, or a community committed to growth and honesty. There is no shame in needing help. In fact, reaching out is a sign of strength. Gaslighting can make you feel like healing is impossible. But healing is not only possible, it's inevitable when you commit to your truth. If you feel confused again, return to your written record. If you feel pressure to doubt yourself, breathe and pause before reacting. When you feel triggered, step back and remember, Confusion is not your natural state. It was taught. Clarity is your birthright. Reclaim it slowly and do it with kindness. You don't have to rush. You only have to remain honest. You are rebuilding trust with yourself. And that relationship will become the foundation of every future decision you make. You are not who the gaslighter said you were. You are who you say you are. And that is more than enough.